Pause for starting. Hi, welcome back. This is Starfall, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure featuring the Lasers and Liches 2.5 supplement. My name is Diamond, and I'm your storyteller, and I'm here with Jocelyn, David, Allison, Thomas, and introducing Penny, who is our newest player starting tonight, and you'll find out more about all of that momentarily. When last we left our protagonists, they had just essentially they had just accepted a side quest to go and save some children and are investigating how to save the children from potentially a cursed house, something, not exactly sure what yet. And they're on their way to the kitchen to blah, blah, talk to a nanny.
There are rumors it is cursed, but we honestly don't know. We're outsiders.
They ain't from around here.
Yeah.
All right. Who's doing the talking?
Yo.
You've left the room, you're into the kitchen, and Leah, the mother of the children, and the nanny Saren, whose name is Nanny Tender. She really just prefers the title to be part of it, but Tender, are standing on either side or on the corner together of an island and having like cups with tea bags in them. They're having a moment in the kitchen. You can see it in your heads, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
From as everybody's headed down there, from like a landing on the stairwell, I set down a hollow disc, put it on record mode, and with the background of the house like really clearly in shot, records himself saying, "Gentlemen, ladies, I'm terribly sorry. I'm going to have to miss this lunch that I've called you all here to. I have been called away on terribly important business by the mayor, and please enjoy this meal on my tab, and trade information in the name of the code. Yours sincerely, Friendly God Hunter." And I will put that with a note to the hotel that their table's tab is on my room, and send Rook off to beg my forgiveness at lunch.
You are an evil person. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, that's right. They got there, and then they get the text.
You're the worst kind of person.
Well, for the rest of you who are in the house.
Why does that sound like me in real life? Just because I'm forgetful.
I am approaching the mother and the nanny, and I'm making a point to approach them in a way where they clearly see me coming, so it doesn't seem like I'm intruding on their conversation.
Leah has continued to be kind of obviously shaken, but somewhat strength, there's no problem so great that cannot be much reduced by a nice cup of tea.
So she's British.
Or Irish. They drink a lot more tea.
Yeah.
She might as well be
just
British, frankly. And Nanny, so she looks at you almost hopeful, and Nanny Tender has just the same stern look she's had on her face the whole time.
I address them both, and I say, "We've officially been hired to help retrieve your children. I don't know if you saw my credentials, but I'm very good at this. We have been directed toward," and I named that house that he talked about. I forget what it's called.
Dropwort Manor.
We've been directed toward.
Oh wait, there's a very specific. You don't say Dropwort Manor, so they just call it the house here.
I've been directed toward the house in town, and I'm assuming they get what I mean when I say the house. I'm talking about the Addams Family house, basically.
Yeah. Leah's shoulders like sort of slump with that in acceptance, and Tender like nods firmly, like good. It's a
I was
punctuated
also
nod.
I addressed Nanny Tender. I was also told that you have more information about it than Mr. whatever his name is.
It's Mr. Van Shire as Selden.
The Mr. Van Shire did.
This is the Van Shire Manor, also called the Mayor's House. For Penny, the mayor is not an elected official. It's a nickname that the town has more or less given them. But think Merchant King with a good heart.
Okay.
Let's see. So Leia and yeah,
So, Sumo Store would like to offer comfort, but also, is there food in this kitchen?
absolutely.
Priorities.
Of course.
I
That's what
mean,
Suma Sword is for.
there is what time of day? We're still in morning here. Late morning. Oh yeah, so there's absolutely cookies that people would call biscuits out, and a bowl of fruit, and there's something roasting in an oven.
There's a charcuterie
Smells delicious in here.
plate.
Well, I will take like 2 biscuits, and I will start eating one, and then like offer one to her. Like you know, trying like you haven't, you know. been
I
so
got this for you.
you haven't eaten yet. Here.
I brought you a cookie, but I ate it. Is exactly who Sumo Sore is.
I bought you half a box of chocolates.
Good for you.
Leah takes it without really noticing and puts it back down on the table. It's just like, okay, this is just emotion. Leia and Tender have a look at each other where they're clearly communicating something with each other. Insight check to see how much of it you understand.
Someone roll for me, please. Wait, no, there's
23.
So with a 23, yeah, you know what's happening there. If it was a
Empress
conversation,
also did great.
Empress also did great. Excellent. A conversation is essentially Tender asking permission to tell you things that Leia doesn't want her to say, and Leia disagreeing and then acquiescing permission. And Leia says, I'll go. I absolutely trust Selden if he hired you, and I'll go speak with him, and sort of flits almost out the door so that you're alone with Tender.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, what do you want to know?
Anything you think will help. What should we what should we expect in that house? What should we look for? Why does he think his children might be there?
Because I know they're there. So for those watching at home, a reminder of Nanny Ceran. She is a Nanny Ceran. A Ceran is it's a dinosaur humanoid. This is a dinosaur humanoid nanny who looks like she was a Triceratops. I think we initially said pan-ceran, but I really like the idea of the spikes better. So we're going with spikes. So she's a Triceratops nanny. Like you do.
Like we always wanted.
Right? She says, so there are looking at the door that Leia walked out. So there are 2 things I can tell you. I can tell you what people say, and I can tell you what I believe.
I want both.
People say the house is cursed and will eat people who go in it. And there's a little bit of value in that. There's an old salt, call him Eggs, who Well, Eggs lost one of his legs is the rhyme. And he might have more to tell you about what's inside, but people go in and they don't come out or they don't come out right.
They come out traumatized.
Or they don't come out. Yes.
Right. If they come out traumatized, different.
Marissa is.
I want Nanny Triceratops.
I do too. I want her to make
That was
hot
looming
cocoa.
on my brain this entire conversation.
I want her to make me hot cocoa. She's my ideal nanny.
Same.
Etienne and Marissa had gotten interested in it, and then Marissa started acting horrible. She was violent and she was angry and she did very strange things here and at school. I'd been working closely with her teacher, Professor Strickler, to try to help make sure everything was okay. And she would say frightening things, but she referenced that the house was calling to her and speaking to her.
Like, sounds familiar, but I don't know why.
Okay. That's what everyone says. What do you believe?
There's a curse on that house and it eats children.
The
And-
house itself is swallowing people.
And Etienne believed it also, which is why he. And she looks guilty here. He was caught learning how to throw knives and had been grounded, so he wasn't able to protect his sister, so now they're both there. He went after her.
So did they go missing separately, or what? One left and one followed pretty sequentially.
That one.
When did you realize they were gone?
When you saw me running.
How long had it been since you'd seen them?
I was bringing them lunch at school. I had dropped them off that morning.
So sometime between breakfast and when we saw you, they.
Monsieur Strickler said that that Marissa left and didn't return, and Etienne said she's gone to the house and ran out, and he couldn't follow, of course. There were.
He had other students to be responsible for.
Indeed, but he also didn't know that Etienne meant that house.
Right. Anything else you want us to know before we walk into that place?
There's a children's rhyme.
Okay.
I don't know that it has information or not, but there is a children's rhyme. When the kids, when Marissa learned it, is when she began acting like this. And I don't remember it, but because it says drop wort in it, it was banned in the house. I'm sure you saw. Wait, was she there for that reaction? Fuck, I don't remember now. No, she wasn't? All right.
Anyway.
No, she wasn't.
Thanks. Monsieur Strickler may know more. Yeah.
As a raconteur of banned and forbidden knowledge, have I run across this perhaps with a history or religion check or something?
You can do a history check. It's pretty tightly unique to this area though. Diamond's computer because she wrote it.
How
10
long
minutes
have
ago.
we been in this area?
You were here. You got here yesterday.
Mhm. Wow, we work quick.
Yeah, you do. And I guess you paid for the hotel flat for a week?
I don't know.
Sounds about right.
Oh, that's only going to come up to like something like a 15. No, nothing stupendous. I rolled poorly.
You're not going to get something specific for here. You can get other children's rhymes that are creepy and just make your own up, but not this one.
So she's not going to say the rhyme because it's been banned in the house that she works at.
She also doesn't know it. Because it's been banned in the house
Oh.
that she works at, she knows that it exists and maybe has heard it once, but that's not enough to memorize it.
I have to go ask Strickler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your the headings on your subquest say talk to Monsieur Strickler and talk to eggs.
And eggs, yeah.
Nanny Tennant, the most recent of those who made an attempt into the house and died, where are their remains?
In the house, I would assume.
Yeah, as I understand it, they either disappear or they come out alive and traumatized.
Have any of the ones alive and traumatized passed recently? Or less recently?
Less recently, possibly. Mostly it's not people. You hear stories, and I don't know how much of it's true. I know that eggs for sure, but then it's the people around here also use the existence of the house as an excuse. Somebody leaves their wife or husband, oh, they must have gone to the house.
Yeah.
Somebody suddenly starts seeing things that don't exist, oh, they must have gone into the house.
Why has no one destroyed it?
I suspect people have tried, but as they say, that's beyond my pay grade.
They might be afraid to anger the spirits or whatever that's inside it. If they think it's cursed, they don't want to upset whatever is dwelling there.
Do you fear the curse, Nanny?
I don't understand what you're asking me.
I mean, and I look left, look right. If we have a frank conversation about the family that owned the house, would it offend your sensibilities?
I don't think that I have anything to gain by it, and I don't know the family that owned the house.
No one does, but if I can't even speak the name around people without pearl clutching and flight, then I'm not very likely to be able to unravel the curse. What happened there?
I don't know.
Who does?
Possibly the school teacher.
I also don't know. But Eggs was a special case because he came out and he wasn't afraid of trying to go back.
Hmm.
He knew someone who'd gone in, and I
Where-
don't know a lot more than that.
Where might we find him?
I can draw you
I
a
miss-
map.
Please.
How long ago did Etienne take up knife throwing?
Hold on a second, because Jocelyn's had her hand up.
Oh,
It's okay. Just
Yeah.
wait for it.
Suddenly, Empress straightens. She was curled up in sort of a thinking pose.
Empress
think-
is a winged snake, by the way, Penny.
I'm an awakened snake. But she starts speaking. The way the girl was acting, that was how, when I was still in the circus before I managed to escape, that was how the circus ring master acted. And he was a new one. He hadn't acted like that before. Could this be connected? Could it be the same thing?
It could be similar effects but different cases, or anything's possible, but it could just be the same effect cast on two individuals by two different individuals.
She nodded. Possibly. But that makes this all the more concerning for me because he did disappear soon before I escaped, and no one has ever heard from him again. I don't remember his name either, unfortunately.
I need chilling violins to play over this. Zun, 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 zun.
Yes,
Okay.
that one.
A theremin.
You had asked how long for Etienne, how long ago he had started learning to knife throw.
Mm-hmm.
What did I name the terrible tabaxi?
Oh, habit.
Habit. That's right. We all share one brain cell here.
I'm
So-
astonished I remembered.
Tender looks more than a little upset, and like when she says his name, she sort of spits it. She said, "It's impossible to get any information out of habit." Etienne was very closed-mouthed about it, but he started learning to knife throw at least a fortnight ago.
What does habit have to do with it?
Habit's the one who was teaching him.
Oh,
That was the debt that we helped him pay.
right.
So,
Oh, you've met him. Charming.
Yes,
isn't he?
yes. You'll notice she's not here with us.
I see that you have good taste.
when the boy was certainly protesting in his defense, what reason did he give?
To protect Marissa.
No more detail than that?
I wasn't.
Nothing dismissed as a flight of fancy?
To protect Marissa from the Lord of the Trapdoor.
There's something significant.
That checks out. Yeah.
Jocelyn. Jocelyn?
At hearing the Lord of the Trapdoor gives a snaky gasp, like as if she recognizes the name, but she doesn't say anything.
Like, unless you're an Everything fan, do you really recognize the name? It's fine.
No.
Okay. Snaky gasp.
It's like a reverse hiss.
All right. Toas?
Oh, I was wondering if that might hit any of my lore nets.
What did you roll?
Nothing yet. I didn't know if there would be a roll. That was the question. Should I roll?
This would be history or arcana.
So we'll go with history. I believe that is superior, which will make that a 25.
Yep. Before you can look it up on the AEN later and try to get more information. But right now what you're sure of is that that's a necromancer and they aren't alive in this century.
Got it.
Well, that's a necromancer, but they're dead isn't necessarily comforting.
This is not a comforting storyline. I don't know what game you think you're playing.
No, but that's a necromancer, but they're dead. Oh, we don't need to worry about them then. No.
Okay. Do we have any more questions for Nanny Tender?
I'm finding this highly hilarious.
Not as funny as I am.
I'm eager to go talk to the other two at this point.
Nanny, how are you in a fight?
Oh God.
She just looks you up and down and says, "You need to find out."
Potentially. You're someone the children trust. If there's any sort of mind control effect, you're the most likely to be able to break it. You know their habits. You know what they might think to do inside a haunted house when we come across a situation. So you would be a valuable asset should you love these children enough to venture in with us.
Don't do that.
She just cold glares you because of there were enough insinuations there that she's not going to reply. She's
No,
just glaring at you.
Tuesday
So-
turns to him and says, "Don't do that."
So how are you in a fight?
Tuesday turns to you and says, "Don't do that."
I know, and
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
response is
Cool.
is. So how are you in a fight?
Pretty sure I could take you.
Great. Would you like to come along?
You're going to go talk to Eggs and Monsieur Strickler first?
And then we're going into the house.
That is the plan.
I'll meet you there.
Excellent.
Now, if you don't mind, I need to gestures at the kitchen with a "I need to do something" hand.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your time. And I walk out of the house.
Umasaura's on like biscuit 5.
So we are going to smash cut back to the town center.
Everything's on
Where-
fire! Oh no!
Nothing is on fire, but a somewhat perturbed beat dragonborn is trying to find something to do in this town. Penny, please describe your character.
Okay. You see a fairly average-sized dragonborn, but that's about it for the average. She is fuchsia in color, dressed in a blue and white sailor fuku, a extremely short skirt, and about 14 lace petticoats. High-heeled boots, those big knee socks that the girls wear, and a big sparkly bow in her hair. She looks exceedingly bored.
It's all fish. It's all fish. What are you even going to do about it being all fish?
Mm-hmm.
The worst. What are you all going to Strickler or Eggs first?
Did Tinder draw me a map for where to find eggs?
She did.
Which one's closer?
Strickler. Easier to get like Main Street through town center than it is to get Eggs is basically as close to the water as possible on the other side of town.
We will go to the I will go to the teacher first.
Okay.
I don't want to speak for other characters. I'm heading to the teacher.
Anyone else? What you doing?
No, that's sensible.
I will follow.
Okay. So, Penny, what is your character's name again? I know I just have it open, but it's easier if you say it. Surprise.
Utada.
Utada. All right.
Utada.
So, Utada, in all these people with this very, like, old place.
They're all wearing brown.
It's all neutrals. It's the worst.
Everybody's in autumn.
And they all seem so depressed.
Walking with a pretty quick pace right down what has got to be a main street, you see, well, each of you describe your characters. Tuesday, I assume you're leading.
Yeah, okay. You see a very athletic looking female, gray with black striped tabaxi, a cat person, female, with a relaxed pink mohawk that's hot pink on the outside but dyed hot neon green on the underside. She's wearing a short black leather jacket over a t-shirt that says all out of spoons, all that's left are knives, and has a series of knives pictured on it. Fancy looking, like, cyberpunk reflective goggles over her eyes. They're a hot pink bodysuit and a very impressive looking sidearm on her hip. And a backpack, I suppose. Yeah. Walking with a very clear, walking remarkably quickly.
Walking with a very clear, I am going somewhere vibe.
Yeah.
Directly behind her is glancing at every stall that has food, is Sumosaur.
Yes, Sumosaur is a Ceran, a pan-ceran, and is just huge, weighing about 400 pounds. It's about 7 foot tall, has teddy bear brown scales, and soft white fuzz around the scruff of his neck, and is wearing the sort of the costume of a sumo wrestler, so like I was just about to look it up, but my computer locked itself, what that's actually called. But the loincloth, or
Mm-hmm.
that thing. And
What the uneducated call the diaper.
yes, and also a fanny pack. Around this large form is a fanny pack, of which I store snacks, and I have munching on. I take one out and munch on it. And
A tiara.
And a tiara, thank you. My winning tiara was for winning the competition in the beginning of the game.
Yep. Which you might recognize as your potentially, I don't know if you're a fan of wrestling or not, but you can decide right now if your character's a fan of wrestling. They're probably a fan of Sumosaur.
Okay.
In the shadow of Sumosaur is first either on shoulder or flying above is a Empress. Empress, describe your character.
Above. Empress is, if I can remember right, sort of desert colored. God, this is hard to explain. I don't have a picture.
That's good.
With rainbow wings. Like her snake body is colored like a desert snake, like desert snakes are. And her wings are very much rainbow.
And she has a tiny fanny pack.
Yes, I also have a tiny fanny pack and a ring around my neck.
And you're what, like a foot long?
Roundabout? Yeah, I'm
Little
tiny.
snake.
Itty bitty baby.
And in the thank you. In the shadow of Sumosaur, I wouldn't exactly say he's skulking, but looking more inward than anywhere. Friendly.
Is a average size and build Wonari, which is a wolf person, has the facial structure of an Akita. Like, big bright smile. Is wearing the Romano style, like Old West priest hat, complete with a few whatchamacallit, danglies. A robe, a pant robe combo with like a modern armored breastplate, pistol at his hip, green coated trim on all the robes, like it's embroidered into coded patterns, and clearly a symbol of the code. Just on probably on a pen. A rosary, rosary around the wrist.
So Penny, if you would like it.
One other thing about Empress is, as you are seeing her, she is again in that sort of snake thinking pose. Diamond, if you could sort of model that for me. Exactly, like that.
And one question.
See.
Is Skinny around?
No, Skinny did not leave the desert.
Okay.
Skinny lives in the desert. Sorry.
Skinny was a ghost cat that I made friends with.
Ah.
It's been an adventure. So, Utada has a interesting inn if you would like it. And everyone else is going to hear this, but you all don't know this, so you don't know this. You had a dream last night, Utada, while staying in this boring as heck town, that if you would like some excitement and to do good things, to look for 4 unusual adventurers and tell them that you're here to help them so they can help Roz. You don't know what it means, but it had the feeling of prophecy.
Okay. Then I will accost them.
Accost away.
Konnichiwa! Konnichiwa, Mini-san.
Strikes you because you startled her. She's like,
Hey, so Tuesday's in front.
I shoot her in the face. No. Critical damage. What? And I haven't stopped moving yet. I just sort of slow to address whatever this is. But, missing persons, time is a factor. I'm headed somewhere. I don't know what's happening with this new person, but I will address them. But I have not stopped.
You are the only interesting people I have seen in the entire time I have been here. So you must be the people I dreamed about. And
terrific.
The dream
Walk and
said, talk. Okay. Hi.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hi.
Hi.
we're working. She's talking now.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my track of my train of thought for
we're
a second
telling
there.
about your dream while walking.
Yes. Yes. I dreamed that I should find the 4 adventurers and tell you that I am here to help you, and
So you can help Roz.
so you can help Roz.
You can't tell, but my eyes go wide at that. Fair enough. Come with us. And
Get in line. We'll walk and talk.
Yeah. Like, I was all set to be skeptical until she said Roz, and good enough, fine, we're headed somewhere.
So,
I have
we gotta go.
Mitsuda.
We gotta go see a teacher about a ghost.
Ooh.
Empress speaks up to this, like looking at the new person and Tuesday, and like they could be part of the salvation. You do know this, right? You know the people who wanted Roz in the first place.
Diamond, do you want me to
Well-
roll an insight check?
sure.
That had absolutely crossed my mind, and I was going to subtly probe for any weaknesses in their disguise without just tipping our hand in front of them. But we'll do it your way, Empress.
That's a 20 goddamn 6.
Well, they're
Oh.
absolutely earnest.
Yeah, I have no reason to.
Yep.
I detect bullshit for a living. I don't smell any on her, so I'm fine.
Also, Empress is like not listening to Friendly. Like she said this like offhanded, like she's not even listening to what she's saying.
Yep.
And Friendly
like-
can see all the places where the Salvation puts their secret tattoos, and she's not wearing a recaster, so far she doesn't check any of the boxes, so we'll be fine.
Friendly's probably Friendly's an observant person, right? He reads
Deeply.
people. Yeah. You saw Tuesday do the thing you've seen her do before, where like she stops, investigates, makes a decision, and moves on. So
Mhm.
you saw me like check her. All right, she's good, and then back to the objective.
So, tell us about yourself. Well, then we'll let you know what's going on.
My name is Utada Mitsuda, and yes, I came here for the Battle of the Bands, but my ship ran into some difficulties and I didn't quite make it in time. It's really most distressing.
I hear it was a hell of a show.
Oh, you were supposed to be here last season. No.
I was hoping to catch let's see, I can't think of any appropriate bands at the moment. I'm sorry.
Duran.
I was gonna suggest that one. I'm still proud of that one.
You should be, but Duran was one of the bands playing.
You're saying it wrong. It's Duran. Duran.
That's also not the Salvation Band. So
Yeah.
Well, I was here to see Cutie Pop. I don't speak enough Japanese to remember the one who translates as puppies.
she says puppies in another language.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to cast comprehend languages a lot more often per day, aren't I? Okay, great. It's a ritual. It's no problem.
You cast a spell to find out she said the word puppies.
No, I would have taken a minute anyway. I'd write it down for later, just in case. Might be a good band.
Mm.
Did you say a ship?
Well, yes.
Airship? Naval ship? Spaceship?
Relationship.
Don't all ships travel through space, really?
Don't do that, Tuesday.
That was Tuesday's not paying attention.
Yeah.
That was David being a dick.
But it's funny.
Of course, it's always a day.
Oh, thank you.
Be a dick in character.
Naval
True.
ship at the delta that's south of here, which is where you guys are going next. Yeah.
Okay.
I just had a pregnant cat lick my face.
There are so many worse things that sentence could have ended with.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
The pregnant cat also.
So
Anyway.
moving on. So, how much of a problem does it have?
What's up?
I'm
What?
curious. Your ship, how big a problem? You mentioned your ship ran into trouble. I mean, is it at the bottom of the bay or?
No, it's docked.
Okay. Can be repaired or like tax trouble? I'm sorry, just looking for details.
Well, I'm not really a sailor. I'm standing here in a sailor uniform.
Different kind.
Hmm.
I'm not really a sailor, but there were lots of holes in the big white thingies. And I think that when that happens, the air goes through, and it's not supposed to.
So not your ship then?
No.
Oh, got it.
Well, my ship, in that it was a ship I was on.
Certainly, certainly. I'm glad we got clarity. What is it you do for a living?
Oh, mostly I pick things up.
Mostly you what?
You got robot-y.
Sorry, mostly I light things up.
Now, again, some clarity. Do you mean as in on a stage? Or as in a mighty conflagration?
Neither.
Oh,
And with that, you've now arrived at the schoolhouse.
What time of day is it?
It's about lunchtime.
Okay, so we can try to talk to him without interrupting classes.
Yes. In fact,
Fantastic.
it's very clear that there are students sitting outside of varying species with varying foods and varying parents or nannies bringing them having left or just arriving bringing food to the students. Welcome to classic one-room schoolhouse.
I look for a male presenting authority figure.
He is there is one person there that seems to be a teacher after just a little bit of watching because everyone else is
Mhm.
engaged in just with one kid. And one person is grading on a computer or something. I honestly am having a really hard time with the intersecting these types of technology in a classroom. Sorry.
It's a wooden data pad.
It is a wooden data pad. We're going with that. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Their
He
Wi-Fi
is
runs on Steam.
like pretty significantly tall.
Holographic quill pen.
Yeah, probably.
would that make it the cloud?
Exactly.
Oh God. So he is pretty
I
significantly tall,
actively
like
didn't make that joke, so well done.
6.5 feet, like getting close to sumo height, but like rail thin. Like this person is built of matchsticks. A nice swoop of like slick black hair, and you are 95% sure you're like, this is an unusually built half elf.
Okay. I walk right up to him.
Oh, what can I do you for?
So sorry to bother you. While you're
Companions.
on the clock. We have been hired to find the mayor's children.
You know he's not actually a mayor, right?
Right, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
So I'm calling him that to save time.
For confirmation, what's his name and who's missing?
I say his name and then the children's name. Because Tuesday remembers.
Tuesday absolutely remembers Selden, Marissa, and Etienne. Ah, well, that makes sense. just disappeared, and he does work fast. How can I help you?
Nanny Tender, we have reason to believe they have gone to the house. That
Well,
is where we're headed eventually. We're gathering as much information as possible beforehand.
that's
If there's anything
okay.
you can tell us, that would be great. And also, if you know the nursery rhyme, no one will tell us, that would also be great.
Oh, yes. One moment. And he goes over to a couple of children playing and like talks to them quickly and then walks them back over and says, this is
Tuesday.
oh no, he's introducing the children.
Oh,
This is Kina and Marie. Could you please sing the jump rope rhyme for our guests? And they look a little confused, but they absolutely do the rhyme about the house that now I have to do. Damn it. Ugh.
yeah.
I've been trying not to do this.
How did you not see this coming?
I can do this. The Dropwort boys, they fought, and Mommy couldn't stand it. So Daddy slapped them down the street. A bear came home, a bandit. Dropwort dreams and Dropwort dregs called sailors to the sea. But once they reached the hollow halls, no more sailors could they be. Hearts melted into the floor and behind the windows too. If we don't watch the hands and hinds, they'll come and get us too. And it gets louder, and then at the end there's like a screaming, and then they all start chasing each other. It's very high energy.
I have recorded this.
Oh, thank God. I can copy and paste it into
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Facebook
My
chat.
Could
my
you
RFV spectacles have recorded the audio and and are translating it like it's a voicemail.
how about the notes in roll 20?
Sure. I can
I've
do that.
already begun transcribing in there
I can absolutely do that.
because otherwise we have to scroll and scroll next week.
Scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll.
Also, posting it both places would be great, so some of us don't have to open Roll20 to read it.
Okay, I will do that. And also, so he thanks them and hands them each a little orange slip of paper, which they take and cheerfully go away. And he says, I believe that was the rhyme that you were looking for.
Certainly sounds like it. Is there anything else you think would benefit us before we venture into that place? We're also going to talk to Eggs. I don't know if you know them.
They call him Eggs Benedict.
Of course they do, because people are clever.
I'm sure Nanny already told you about Marissa's behaviors.
Yes.
She has always been a very sweet, quiet, intelligent girl, exactly the kind of girl you expect from such a lovely family. But over the last, like a fortnight or so, she became increasingly acting out in ways that made no sense, that were very concerning. Sometimes she spoke in a voice that wasn't hers, and sometimes she was doing these drawings
What?
and would do them even at times. Yes, David.
When you say a voice that wasn't hers, do you mean in attitude or in actual the voice itself was not that of hers?
It was extremely unusual to think that a child could make that voice, but having worked with many different species of children in my time, children make all sorts of interesting noises,
Yes.
but it sounded very almost gravelly, and certainly older than hers would have. But for all we know, she practiced it or something, and she'd been getting in trouble for vandalizing school property.
Signs and symbols and whatnot.
Not exactly. Here. And he,
And her art assignments, if you would. Thank you.
what?
As he's going like here, and I'm like, oh yes, and her art assignments, if you would. Thank you.
It's interesting you mentioned because that's exactly what we're talking about. And he goes to a cupboard and opens it and, finds the thing, and it's a book. Pick a subject. I don't actually know what subject. My brain isn't doing it. I'm seeing
History.
like classic history textbook, right?
Mm-hmm.
History of the Delta. And the cube primer. And he hands it to you, and like there are pages that are ripped out and scribbled all over, but there are multiple pages of just if you took a pen and scribbled all over the page except for 2 white spots on the page, right? So giving the sense of eyes looking out.
Yeah.
And there are some, and then he pulls out the arts and he's like, she couldn't follow the assignments, but we maintain these for when it's time to have some conversation with the parents. And she wasn't interested in taking them home, and he shows you what look like these incredibly well done pencil drawings, graphite drawings of a music box and a what are we doing? A music box, a locket. Sorry, Diamond's brain. Oh yeah, of course. That makes sense. I'm running through things in my head. I'm so sorry. I have to get to the next thing. Oh, and the word promise on a wall. Like it's a drawing, almost photographic, like well done, right? Of the word promise drawn painted perhaps, or messily drawn onto a wall. As you can see, they're a kind of disturbing, and the Vanshire simply hadn't yet had time for us to have the conversation, and most of it was through Nanny. And we were working through some behavior modification and getting her to refocus and engage. But if she is truly missing, then it seems we weren't fast enough.
And of course, at some point, you engaged a cleric, as would be appropriate in a matter like this.
You understand that as the school teacher, that isn't a decision that I get to make about a family.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nods and is like, that is very true for most families. Most families are not willing to have their school teacher call in a cleric for their child. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
More than that, had I done that...
I'm stunned at your amazing insight into humanoid society, Empress. You must be a keen watcher of the two-legged.
She looks at.
However, just as many keep some manner of divine defense on staff.
For the most part, I am that divine defense.
Excellent. And
Empress
your conclusions?
It isn't mind control. It isn't an external same sort of thing. It's something she took into her. I believe that some of your species might call it a possession. At least that's what it seems to track with.
Excellent.
And his voice goes really quiet, and very quietly he tells you that with some of the other children, she'd been acting violently, and at least one child hasn't come back to school after having her face clawed. Because let's get into the violence, shall we?
Yeah. I just want to specify, I'm taking photos of all of this stuff.
Excellent.
Of course, you're
I see you transmitting over here. Click, 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 click. My glasses do the click.
Wait, you can't tell from the outside because it's activated by a blink.
Yeah.
I just
Allah.
look at each one, look at the next one, look at the next one.
It's very soon to be the end of the children's lunchtime, and we have math.
I
So-
completely understand. Thank you so much for your time. Hope to return with good news soon.
Absolutely. Good. Best of luck to you.
And I'm out.
Monsieur Strickler. Okay. And as you all are leaving the schoolhouse, seems like a great time to stop the episode for the time being. On their way to see eggs. If y'all are enjoying this so far, so we're only like an hour in on this one, give us a like. If you want to see more, there's a subscribe button. If you want to know what's happening at the house, you should definitely follow along because these guys are going to find out. And until we see you again, have a good game.
have a good game.
Woo!